Hi, it's Mac from TheRubiksCubed, and today I have an unboxing from the cubicle. So my current mains are actually really out of date with what's new in the world of cubing. Let me just show you real quick. I still have my WuQue as a 3x3 main, and I'm fine with that. That's perfectly fine. And also I have a Tangpo as my 2x2 main. And these are the only two that I don't really have to change because I like them so much. So those are fine. But then when we get into 4x4, I have a Yusu R, and 5x5 I have a Wuang, and Skewb, I'm using a Skewb, no magnets, and Pyraminx, I'm using a WuQue, no magnets. So these are some pretty old cubes, and the cubicle was nice enough to hook me up with some newer stuff. So a big thank you to them. This wouldn't have been possible without them. And so let's get into the puzzles. So I think I have a pretty good idea what's in this package. I'm expecting a 3x3, 4x4, 5x5 Skewb and Pyraminx, but let's see what's inside. Also a square one. You know, I haven't been excited for a puzzle in a package in a really long time. Before I tested for companies, it was so much more rewarding when a package came with cubes. I was always really excited. When I was expecting a package, I would, run to the window every morning and see if it was there. And, I haven't had that feeling in a while ever since I've been testing. And I did with this package, and it was like a nostalgia trip because I was just so excited to receive this. So let's take a look. Oh boy. So I'm seeing a lot of Cubicle Pro Shop stuff right here. That's really exciting. So this is a 3x3 right here. These boxes are awesome, by the way. Take a close look at them. Here we have, I don't know, this looks like a 3x3 as well on the outside, but we'll take a look and see what's inside. Here we have Chris Tran on this one, Roe on the first one. This is a wingy Skewb. I've been really wanting one of these. I've tried out a bunch of wingy Skewbs. They've all been stickerless, and unfortunately I just can't use a stickerless cube because the green is not good for me. I mix it up with the yellow. So I've been looking forward to this one. I wasn't even sure if they had a black wingy. They do, so that's good. This feels like a 4x4. This is another box with Row on it. It's Pro Shop right there. Feels maybe like a 4 or 5 as well, a little bit bigger. And this must be the Pyraminx. And of course, we have our business card right over here. So a huge thank you to Phil from the Cubicle for hooking me up with all this really cool stuff. I'm really excited to take a look and see how good these cubes are. My mains have needed a refresh for a while now, so I'm excited to get into some new puzzles. All right, let's start with this white box right here. I think this is a 3x3, so let's take a look. Definitely going to be keeping these boxes. These are really cool. And it's not just like paper or anything too. It's like it's an actual cardboard box. All right, I was right. This is a 3x3 right over here. So this 3x3 is a GTS M2, I believe. And in here we have a Pro Shop brochure, which is pretty cool. Let's see what's inside. Oh, so descriptions of Ro, Phil, and Chris. That's pretty cool. I'll read these later. And it also came with a stand, which is pretty good. Can't have enough of these. I have a lot of cubicle stands already. Whenever an order is not over $10 when I order from the cubicle, I just purchase a whole bunch of stands until it's over 10 so I can get free shipping. So I have a bunch laying around, but I could always use more. And here's the cube itself. Oh boy. I am so excited for this. I did ask Phil to use my custom sticker scheme, which is the super contrast shades, and it looks like he definitely delivered. These are my shades. And we got the really cool Cubicle Labs logo on here. So let's take a look at this GTS M2. It is a bit looby on the outside. Wow. That's going to need some breaking in, but I can definitely feel it already. This is great. It's got an interesting feeling to it. It's kind of like a bit clicky. Feel those magnets in there as well. I've never had a magnetic cube. This is my first magnetic cube, so really excited for this. Seems to flow pretty nicely. I need to get used to its turning style as well. It's a bit slippery right now because of the lube, but I wonder what this is lubed with. I've had opportunities to try all of the Cubicle Lab lubes except for the newest one, the Cubicle Lubical Black, which seems very intriguing. But I've never had any lubricants other than the Silk for myself, and Silk is plenty good for me. I use Weight 4 and Silk, and sometimes Lubical Speedy as well. But I'm sure this has DNM 37 and some of the newer stuff as well in here. They definitely know what they're doing when they lube the cubes. Now, one thing about setup cubes out of the box is that usually they're a bit gummy because like the lube had time to sit in the package, but I'm not experiencing that at all with this puzzle, which is really good. And of course, corner cutting is amazing. This is all set up. Oh my god. There's no place it can't cut. Wow. Literally. That's insane. Yeah, so I'm going to need to do a bunch of solves on here, wipe it down, and then this is probably going to be my main. Magnets is just going to make the cube a lot more stable. Yeah, if I get used to this turning, I see no reason why this can't be my main, so that's very exciting. Okay, so now with the 3x3 down, let's move on to the next puzzle. All right, here we are. I'm not sure which one this is. It feels like about a 3x3 size. Maybe it's a 4x4. Let's take a look. Aha, square one in here. So I'm very excited for the X-Men Volt because my current square one is a Chi and it is completely stripped and it is awful. So I'm really excited to get into like a Pro Shop one because I want a square one that doesn't strip, first of all, and also, you know, has a bit better flow than my last one. And just as before, we have a brochure and a stand, so that's very cool. I'm going to get plenty of stands from this unboxing. Now, when I spoke to DG about this, you know, he really doesn't like the Volt, which is interesting. You know, I guess it just doesn't complement his turning style. And I don't know. I don't really care. I've tried Volts before, and they seemed perfectly fine to me. And honestly, anything could beat out a stripped Chi. Even like a Calvin's square one could beat out a stripped Chi. And I'm not that much into square one. Actually, I could solve it in sub 1 minutes, but I forgot all the algorithms. But hopefully this gets me back into square one because I'm looking forward to a square one that isn't stripped. So for a change, that would be helpful. The sticker scheme looks great on here. I just love it. First thing I noticed is that these corners are really sharp, which is interesting. Interesting look because the internals of this puzzle are white, but the outside is black. So that's a bit weird. Nothing I can't get used to, of course. All right, so let's try some turning. All right. Well, it's definitely better than my Chi, but I'm getting a lot of lockups right now. Now, I'm sure that has a lot to do with the fact that I haven't done square one in a very long time, and I never was really great at it. So I'll have to break this one in as well, get used to its turning, and I think I'll use that opportunity to relearn the algorithms I need to solve this again, and hopefully I can get my times down a bit. Now, I'm trying to figure out if this is magnetic, and it feels like it's got a little bit of like a catch at each turn, and I'm not sure if that's like a magnet. I believe it is a magnet. Yep. So I'm pretty sure this has magnets in it, which is very cool. Now, if I'm feeling up top here, these don't have any catches or like magnets or anything. And these are pretty slow. Very slow, actually. I'm not sure if that's like a tensioning thing. I'm sure that helps with stability when I get used to turning because it's almost like the top and bottom layers are like heavy, and the heaviness of the layers makes it easier to do precise turns. Like on a stripped, if you go like this, the top layer will go flying. So this is definitely a bit better, but it's weird to get used to. All right, very good. So now I actually have a square one that I can actually use, not like a crappy cube twist or a strip Chi. So I'll actually learn how to do square one again and hopefully compete in it again soon. I was going to sign up for Princeton, which had Square 1, but I missed the cutoff by 30 minutes, which is very frustrating. So I'll have to wait into another local competition, but I am looking forward to getting back into Squan. All right, here's our next cube right here, another Pro Shop. Now I believe this is going to be the 4x4, so let's take a look. This is the 5x5 right over here, actually. So this is the Wuang. Once again, we have our brochure and our stand. Let's move that aside. So currently I have a Wuang, and that's perfectly fine, but it does have some catching issues. As you can see right here, the outer layers of the Wuang are actually very good. I like them a lot. But when solving, there's just, you know, some catches that get in the way. Like over here in these middle layers. And now I'm not that great at 4x4, and I haven't practiced 4x4, really sat down and done any averages or anything like that. I have tried to compete in it before, I believe. You know, with any event, getting a good puzzle and like updated hardware is definitely something that can get you motivated to practice. So some of my hope with a lot of these puzzles is that I'll actually get the opportunity to sit down and practice these events now that I have better puzzles. 5x5 is pretty fun. I like the size of these puzzles and just turning them a lot. So having a better 5x5 than Wuang is going to be even more motivation to just solve 5x5s for fun and hopefully get a little bit better. So let's take a look. All right, so I'm looking at this here. It's actually pretty interesting looking. I don't know, maybe there's some more space between the stickers and the pieces than I'm used to. Looking back at this cube over here, I'm not sure if these are full fitted. I believe they are full fitted. If you take a look over here, you can see that there's a lot more space in between these stickers than there is over here. I do prefer the full fitted look, but of course it doesn't really make a difference, so that's fine. All right, let's get into some first turns. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I've totally forgot about the full fitted stickers now. Wow, I thought the outer layers of the Wuang were good. This is insane. This moves and flows just like a 3x3. Wow. I'm not getting any locks or anything. And that has a very interesting feeling to it. It's a bit crunchy. And that's how I like my 3x3s actually, so this is going to be a lot of fun to sit down and solve with. And let's try some inner layers. Oh wow, that is really sandy. It has that like swishy and like papery sound, which is interesting. Kind of complements the outer layers a little bit. You go from crunchy to like this new unique feeling. Yeah. Wow, all the layers move very well. And like I said, you know, it's just the outer layers are so good, it feels like a 3x3 almost, just like smaller. As compared to my Wuang, it's just faster and crunchier overall. And the inner layers of the Wuang really are very similar to the outer layers, but they have some locking issues. But I'm not receiving that sort of feeling at all from the Wuang. Its inner layers are a lot different than its outer layers, but there are no locking issues, and it flows and just has a faster speed. Again, instant main. So we're 3 for 3 right now. I don't see any reason why the first 3 cubes I started with won't become my mains. So that's pretty cool. Let's head into the next puzzle. All right, so here we have what must be the 4x4. I currently use a WuQue R, which definitely has some issues. The WuQue R is really, really fast and crunchy. However, it has some serious locking issues. And it just, you know, isn't that great. It's pretty good for spamming TPS, and that's fun sometimes, but other than that, it's just not a puzzle that flows very well. So I'm really looking forward to this WuQue, or however you say it, I don't know. All right, let's take a look. All right, this feels pretty light actually, and we got the Pro Shop logo on here. So let's give it some first turns. Wow, that is very quick. Actually feels a bit dry. Those outside layers kind of got the same feeling as the inner layers of the Wuang. Has that maybe a little less so, but swishy and papery feeling to it. But it's definitely got really good flow. The layers aren't catching on each other or anything. Inner layer wise, let's take a look. Oh, yep. That's really got that same swishy feel as the inner layers of the 5x5. I don't believe this is lubed, actually. Take a look in there. Seems pretty dry. So maybe this is just stickered up with my Skewb. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's better than it used to are, so I'm not complaining. Definitely a main. I am getting a few locks on these inner layers. Those outer layers are just really fast. Okay, so we're down to our final 2 puzzles. And so next I'm going to check out the Pyraminx. Alright, so I'm really excited for this actually because DG taught me L4E at Nationals. And I've been working on L4E. I finally got the cases down on the last layer. So I think I'm on my way to becoming a respectable Pyraminxer. I don't know. I just want to be sub 5 and then I'm probably good with that. And better hardware won't hurt, so let's take a look. DG hasn't held back when describing my MoYu Pyraminx. The idea is it's not good. I don't really have an issue with my current MoYu Pyraminx, but it doesn't have magnets, you know, it's a bit catchy. It doesn't flow as nice as the other Pyraminx I've tried. And similar to a Skewb, the other MoYu magnetic Pyraminx that I have tried, all stickerless, and that's just, I can't use stickerless. So I haven't had the opportunity to look at a black one yet, so I'm excited for this. Similar to the Square One, it looks like we have a black outside cube with some white internals. Now I was expecting that because I have seen this puzzle before. Even on the stickerless, that's the case. All right, so we got a stand again, even though this is not a puzzle that really works in a stand. Like, that doesn't work. Let's try out some first turns. Oh my goodness. That is really fast. You know, one thing about these modern Pyraminxes that I haven't liked all too much is that, you know, they give up a little bit of stability for speed and a better flow. You know, and I get that, but I preferred my MoYu to other Pyraminxes that I've tried in the past because, you know, it's just so much more stable and it's easier for a beginning Pyraminxer to like solve on that. So as I get better and I practice more on this Pyraminx, I'm sure this will not be an issue. But, you know, that's why I've stuck with the MoYu all this time and I haven't switched. I was never really serious about Pyraminx and I just preferred a Pyraminx that was a lot more stable. Now this does have magnets, so it is a lot better than just a MoYu, like the same puzzle just without magnets. That would be a nightmare. They would have turns all over the place that you didn't want. But this is keeping its form, it just like flexes a bit. And that's something I'm definitely going to have to get used to. If you could just see this Pyraminx right here, you know, it keeps its shape very well. But, you know, it has those catches. Its Florian cuts are just not as large as this newer puzzle. And if you take a look at this, you know, it like free forms in your hand almost. Which is something, again, that I'm just going to have to get used to. And making this a lot less slippery from the lube will help with my grip, definitely. It is a bit lubey on the outside. And the tips are just great on here. They have magnets as well. And so I have gotten a lot of +2s in competitions from turning tips on tables. So hopefully that will be a little bit lessened if there are some magnets to keep tips in place. Overall, this old MoYu is just a blockier puzzle than this newer one. So again, another main. Getting into our final puzzle here, we have the one I'm most excited for actually, believe it or not. We have the wingy Skewb. Now taking a look at my Skewb right here, it's a pretty good Skewb and I like it, but it definitely has some major catching issues. And it gets so bad sometimes that it'll absolutely just butcher a solve. You know, like it'll catch and then it'll like drop and I have to start over the solve and I get like a 20, you know, stuff like that. So the hardware on here is actually pretty important to me because I definitely think just with a better cube, I can improve, maybe by a little bit, but I can definitely improve. I've liked this puzzle just because it's pretty fast. It's another type like the WuQue R where you can spam TPS, but it's got that catching problem that will get you every once in a while. And the shape of this concave puzzle over here definitely will help with grip and stuff like that, so I won't drop it as much. So let's take a look. So this comes with a box, thing that X-Men and Chi have done in the past that I've really liked. I like when puzzles come with boxes, plastic boxes that is. They're actually useful compared to these paper boxes. Here we go. Seems like it comes with some instructions as well. It's cool. All right, let's take a look. Wow, this is definitely very strange. Unfortunately, this didn't come with my color scheme, so I'm going to have to get some new stickers. But this is fine for now. I think I can use this. The yellow and the green aren't too bad, so I can use it. I have felt a wingy before, so I'm not surprised by the feeling, but I have heard that if you use this enough and you go back to a normal one, the normal ones just feel pillowed, which is definitely interesting. So let's do some first turns. Yep, it's definitely dry. No work has been done to it. It's straight out of the box, so. It also seems just smaller in my hand when I'm using it. But its stability is a lot better. It's holding together. It has some locks, but it's not locking as much as my old Chi. Yeah, this puzzle needs a lot of work, actually. Well, I'm not surprised because it's the only one that hasn't been modded at all by people at the Cubicle Pro Shop. Yeah, but I mean, its potential is a lot better than my current Skewb because it's got the magnets to help with stability. You know, it's got the concave shape, which will help with grip and everything like that. So with some breaking in, I need some lubrication, maybe some tensioning. This definitely will become my main. Alright, so here's the final haul. We got 6 new mains right here. All of them definitely will replace the ones I currently have, but some of them do need a little bit of work. So once again, I want to give a huge thank you to the Cubicle for sending me all this stuff. I haven't done reviews on my channel in a little while. I did one a while ago on the GANS 357. That was like a test of a new format that I was trying out for some reviews, and I liked how it went, but on this channel I really don't focus on reviews because that's not really some of the content I want to be making. So after the success of that review format, I've always wanted to do another one, but just haven't had, you know, the new puzzles to do it, or really the drive to do it. So now that I got 6 new puzzles, I'm definitely going to be solving a lot on and breaking in, and in the case of this one, lubing and tensioning, I'm going to have some material to work on for some reviews. So if you're interested in seeing reviews at all, let me know which ones you want to see. Of course, reviews have been done on all of these puzzles before. They're not brand new. They have been out for a while, some of them, but the point of me making reviews is just sharing my own personal opinion, whether or not these puzzles have been reviewed or not on the internet. So if you're interested in my opinion in any of these puzzles, let me know. I'll see if I can make a review on that. And also, I was trying out this new unboxing format where I thought maybe I can have a face-to-face rather than you just seeing my hands. And I decided maybe a few close-up shots were good as well. So let me know what you thought of that. You know, it's definitely more time-consuming than a normal unboxing, but I think it's a little bit better because, you know, the face-to-face is definitely better when you have a package. You can actually see me and my expression when I'm turning it and stuff. And because the camera's further away, I added those close-up shots. But if you see any room for improvement in this style, let me know. Or if you like this better, or if you like the old style better of just, you know, unboxing with my hands, let me know down below. I'd love to hear all you guys' opinions. Anyway, that's about it for this one. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can leave them down below, and that'll be much appreciated. Like, share this video, and follow me on social media in order to be awesome. And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.